Here we go.
Get the music.
Here we go. We tested everything. We tested everything. We're going to sing the theme song a cappella here. Here we go. Good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire. And today
And I'm Mike
You
Zwirko.
are Mike Zwirko. You might still be on mute, Mike. But anyway, this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose, and it's Halloween week. It's a special week here on the show.
Oh, it is? Oh.
Yes. Yes. This is the costume I've had since I was 4. And I just thought I like to wear it once a year and just kind of get the dust off and enjoy monkey life for a little bit.
All things, like in fashion, things kind of come and go. So it's, don't ever throw anything away. It'll come back.
This one has stayed. This one's actually stayed steadily through.
Yeah.
I said, I feel like the character Barf from Spaceballs with this. So that's kind of the angle I'm going for.
I like it. Yeah, it works. It works. How you doing, Zwirko?
I'm well. I am well. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, in my office that I haven't left for a long time.
I was just going to ask you.
Does that mean like hours, days, or weeks when you say long? You haven't left for a long time.
I don't know. It's like, it's whatever's day. So, things are well. I hope the same for everyone else. So
good. Yes.
Now, a lot of the fans know Mike is a former candidate for mayor, a city councilor, president of the city council. I think you actually have been around long enough that you were both an alderman and a city councilor, if I got my facts correctly. I check it with the research department, but So how are you staying plugged in these days? Because when you held those roles, I sort of knew you as somebody total finger on the pulse, deep into the details and paying attention to all kinds of things, which I have a new respect for because we try to, keep tabs on things a little bit on this show, and there's a lot going on in the city. So I'm just curious, somebody like you who is so plugged in and so deep, like, do you totally unplug? Do you still pay attention? Like, what's it like now?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. 20 years ago, I worked at the State House as a legislative aide, and my boss at the time used to always joke. He said, the only way you get politics out of your blood is through embalming fluid. So, I do think that you're never quite out of it. And, Melrose is a community of friends. So it's really easy to kind of stay in the information pipeline, I think, even more so today, obviously, with social media and stuff like that. But listen, I have a lot of friends on the city council, a lot of folks that I've spent, a lot of time with them and their families. I'm friendly with Paul Broder, our mayor, members of the school committee. So, staying in the information pipeline is not something that's obviously too difficult. It is a little strange, just a little foreign, for 4+ years of my life, I lived and breathed this stuff. So between like routinely talking to department heads and speaking with, interest groups, as well as, citizens about issues around their school or their street, it's all of a sudden the light switch kind of goes off in that regard. You pass the baton to others, but I'll tell you, you're never farther than a text message or a phone call. And that's a really, it's a nice thing about this community, because it's nice to step back, but at the same time, it's nice to have friends that are, doing their part for our community. And I've learned, both before being an elected official and now even after, there's certainly ways to affect change in your community, and you certainly don't have to be on a ballot to do so. I mean, the efforts like this just to kind of get information out there, but also, as we'll talk about later tonight, civic groups around the town. So,
yeah. What do you think are what do you think's on the discussion docket most these days? What do you think people are most concerned about, or most excited about and talking about?
I mean, listen, it's all COVID all the time, right? I
Yeah.
mean, what else could it be? And let me just say to the folks that are, there's no playbook for this. I mean, I think, health departments have, somewhat of a playbook in terms of tactics and practices and best practices and things like that. But when you're talking about commerce shutting down, when you're talking about schools shutting down, I mean, everybody
A long time.
Mhm.
everybody is kind of fuddling their way through this, right? And it's not an easy role for a decision maker to be in, for a policy maker to be in. I mean, we're seeing a patchwork of response across our Commonwealth, and I tend to think that we've done pretty well, right? I mean, things in March and April were really scary,
Yeah.
but for most of the past 4 or 5 months, the Northeast has done pretty well, and it's one of those things that no matter which solution or road you choose on a pathway, some population is going to be pushed out or affected in a negative component, right? Whether it's parents with kids in the school system, whether we're talking about our elderly neighbors. So this is a really, really complex issue. And I'll tell you, I mean, COVID is it's all you're going to be talking about. It's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I agree, and it changes. We sort of kind of keep going to the next thing. We're like, well, what are we going to do about graduation? What are we going to do about summer? What are we going to do about this? So now we're at Halloween, and people have been asking. So obviously, it can't keep our spirits down. We're trying. See what I did there? I actually didn't even do it on purpose, but I'm that good. But so now people are, now here we are at Halloween. Obviously there's still stuff going on. You can still trick or treat, but people are still asking, like, what's going on? We obviously can't do the downtown trick or treating. So people have asked.
Right.
We talked about it last week. There are guidelines out there. You can trick or treat in your neighborhood if you want. I know in our neighborhood we have a lot of little kids in our neighborhood. They're going to do like a late afternoon kind of Halloween parade, which sounds like they're not expecting the kids to come around trick or treat or whatever. Yeah, so that's fine.
I love the Halloween parade, not because one of my daughters won at the Lincoln School champion of them all, but also the Halloween parade is a good thing because even if you're trick or treating, it's hard to get a solid look at everything, and sometimes it's dark out. And if you're at a party, like in the pre-COVID days, it's a little bit of a mishmash. The parade gives the costumes the respect and attention they deserve. Each person gets to display.
It's like a runway. It's like being on the runway.
We should have thought of that for tonight.
That's how Halloween should be. There should be a red carpet for Halloween costumes. Yeah, totally. I've got a lot. I could go for days.
And you know what? It's going to be sunny. It's going to be a little cool, but sunny out. So it's a good day for parade on Saturday.
You may wake up to snow on the ground.
I was going to say it's a little bit more than a little chilly, but it's going to be pretty damn cold. But but it should be a nice day. Get out there. Remember when I was little, we used to have to make our Halloween costumes like big, so you could wear it on top of your winter coat. when I was little, that's what we did. So, but there are.
I always appreciate. Sorry, Jen. I always appreciate seeing the old school with the pillowcase.
Yes.
Coming up to the door, right?
Yeah.
Pulling up the pillowcase. I love that.
Yeah, totally.
Pillowcase is the classic, and this is one of them fancy store-bought outfits, I think. But back in the day, we'd make them from scratch. Actually, my daughter was making a costume from scratch, which was cool to see. She's in high school and she's just going to like a little campfire thing. So that's another creative thing that people are doing for Halloween. But she actually downloaded the pattern and printed it out and cut it and stitched it all together. Yeah, it's cool. That's the fun of it. Like to go to a store and just buy it. I feel I'm not that into that.
Oh, I'm totally with you. Halloween, hands down, is my favorite holiday. For exactly that reason. You get to think about your costume and you're going to make it. Now everybody in Melrose is making pumpkin people. It's my favorite. It's so much fun. Have you guys seen any of those around town?
Yes, they're everywhere. It's like an invasion of the pumpkin people.
It is.
Although Dr. Fauci seems to be like on every other house.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Can I show you guys a few of them?
I'd love to see that.
All right, hold on a second. Give me a second to share my screen here.
We are facile with the
We are
technology here at
so good
LTMM.
here.
If there's one
All right.
message that is clear.
All right, so these are some of my favorites. You can see some of these at on the event page. Melrose helps Wicked Melrose rise up the pumpkin people. This is one of the first ones to go up. I'll scroll through. This is
Ghostbusters, classic.
A two house neighborly effort. So they did the slime, and then they did the Ghostbuster and the Marshmallow Man. These guys are chilling on Conrad Road in Melrose. They were done.
Oh my God.
Early. This guy's cute. He's on Bancroft. These two guys, see those guys with the cauldron on Circuit Street?
What's cooking there?
I don't know. This is the Melrose. Even some of the businesses got into it.
Sherlock Holmes.
That's Sherlock Pumpkin Holmes at the library.
Huh, I wonder what he's reading.
These guys, I don't know where these guys are actually. They didn't say, but they're sitting on pumpkins playing poker. I don't know if you
They're not on the map. Isn't there a map to show people
where? They may be. They just didn't say where on Facebook on that post. They didn't say where we are. This poor guy, skiing accident.
I like that.
He's on Cleveland Street. Yeah,
Still has one ski on.
This guy's been doing this for years actually on Cleveland Street.
It's Lane Meyer.
Spooky. Oh, is that who that is? It took me a second. Yeah, exactly. I want my $2. This is a stagecoach on Maple Street, spooky stagecoach. We got Bob Ross at Follow Your Art. So
perfect.
Good. I love this one. Perfect for them. Here's Dr. Fauci in my neighborhood with his sword saying in science we trust. This is the McIndoir family on Glen Ave. Looks just like Fauci.
Glen Street. Don't be confused with Glen Ave and Glen Road. There's
right.
Do you know that there's 3 streets in Melrose? There's a Glen Street, a Glen Ave, and a Glen Road. I do know that, and also Lind too. Here's the Dugan Dude Ranch. Shout out top fan Dugans. Yep. Here's on Bartlett Street. Oh, there's Dugan on Bartlett Street. Elections can be very scary. That's a hanging Chad. This is ours. On Crest Ave, the smoking caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. This spooky guy is on Lind Street, I believe.
Love to see the creativity.
Yeah, isn't it great? And here's another Dr. Fauci. This is the apple shampoo family.
Is it Lind? Is it Lind or lined?
I thought it was lined.
I thought it was lined.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, I don't mean to pick on you. I'm really curious because there's been a few other things recently that I don't know how to pronounce, and some of them I've been like pronouncing them wrong for decades or whatever. But wow, that's great! What a tour! Yeah. We just had a nice little tour.
Yeah, so those are some highlights. So you can this weekend get out there, take your Halloween parade out and walk around and go check out some of those around Melrose. So it'll be fun.
Now it's time for the news, and the first item is actually Halloween related. I didn't know if this was my win of the week or breaking Halloween news, but see if you can read this. Can you read that? I went into Shaw's the other day and I found this. See, that's candy corn. Yeah. But look at that, organic candy corn. So this has organic cane sugar, organic brown rice syrup, shellac, salt, organic, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, healthy candy corn. It's out there on the streets of Melrose.
That's brilliant.
And it's delicious.
Is it? Now, isn't there? Yes. So I'm not a candy corn aficionado. So isn't there one brand that's supposed to be like the only one that's good? Is
I think technically it's Brock's. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely not organic.
I used to tell my kids that anything we bought at Trader Joe's was healthy because it was from Trader Joe's. A bag of Trader Joe's, their brand of Doritos. I was like, no, they're healthy. Trader Joe's Doritos.
That's not true. You cannot just go by the packaging is so beautiful at Trader Joe's, and it's kind of nostalgic and looks hip and healthy, but it's really, you got to read the ingredients.
Yeah,
that's my PSA.
Don't ruin it for me, Tom Catalini. All right, what else we got?
All right, what's the news of the town? Well, there's an election going on. So the early voting is underway in Melrose. People have done mail-in voting, but now it's down to the wire. So there's still early voting at Memorial Hall on Main Street. This week, 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. And I think does it go through Saturday? I can't read these notes here. October 26th to 29th, 8:30 to 4. And then, sorry, Friday, it ends around 12:30.
Yeah.
And
have you voted yet, Zwirko?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
I
yeah,
voted.
me too.
I
All
want to
done.
say October 12th, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been easier.
I know.
You know, and shout out, by the way, to the election folks. You know, I mean, talk about getting thrown a curveball this year, right? And everything that they've had to deal with between mailing ballots to everyone that's requested them and changing polling locations, consolidate. I mean, really, kudos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard that it's gone very, very smoothly. So big shout out to them.
Get out and vote. You're going to vote for the President of the United States, U.S. Rep in the 5th Congressional District. Catherine Clark is running against Caroline Calaruso. And two important questions. Yes. Two important questions on the ballot. Flip it over to the backside. The right to repair expansion, question 1, and ranked choice voting, question 2. Make sure you vote on those. We've covered those on the show. But yeah, don't blow it off. Get out there and be heard.
Yeah, and that reminds me. Sorry, Mike, just real quick. So we won't be, obviously that's next week. We are going to be drinking heavily and watching results and stuff next week. So we won't be here next week.
We'll be monitoring the situation
live.
Yeah, so we will not be on the air, but the host, the producers, the guest hosts, the guests, we're all getting together with the research team and the media department, and we're going to be monitoring it across the board.
Right.
Come back with a full report the following week.
Right. So just wanted to make sure our tens of fans are aware that we won't be here next week. But meanwhile, also there's hey Mike, have you noticed there's a lot changing and going on downtown? Have you been downtown? There's lots of new businesses coming.
Mm-hmm. There's really cool places to visit, new openings and new places to sit.
Mm-hmm. So what do you hear? You got a finger on the pulse, guy. What do you hear is going on down there?
Development, right? I think a lot of activity that was at a standstill has kind of awoken, right? And I think you've got 2 buildings that are near complete. The old, as we like to call it, the Coffee, Tea and Me building, right? And then the old Moynihan Plaza, apartments. I know they have signs up for advertising, so those apartments, they will be looking for tenants shortly. I don't actually know when it will be finalized and complete, but there's been activity, which is always good to see. There's been the Waggery just recently opened up.
I was thinking if you want to get those cat ears groomed.
Oh, I could use a grooming.
You can just, I want to see you walk in with that on and just ask, can you do anything with this?
I should. I have a coupon. But there was a little bit of a facelift, right, to Hugo's as well. So there's been some beautification efforts. We've seen the parklets, right? And by the way, shout out to the group of concerned citizens from our PED bike committee that really, kind of put the laboring oar behind that. They started off as some orange jersey barriers with some seats, nice. Hey, look, nice to have the option, but now we've got, winter cabbage, illumination,
Yes.
Nice,
is that what that is? Winter cabbage?
You see that? Can you guys see it?
Look at that.
I just shared it. Yeah. It looks pretty good.
The room together.
It really does pull the room together. And right across the street is Turner's. And so at night, you're right. There's lights out at the parklet, and then right across the street at Turner's, in between each little outdoor table, they have these like mini fire pits. It looks so cool. It's really nice down there. So
now we're
gonna leave those up as long as possible. Obviously, we have to move them when it snows, but I know the the bike ped committee and the DPW, they're working closely together to kind of monitor that and really try to leave them up as long as possible for the winter, because people do need to stay out and be able to socialize outdoors and stuff like that. So it's a great addition. Kudos to those guys and everybody.
Yeah, it really is. And I took a walk last night with my wife down there, and the lights were on, and it's very nice. And I think, you can't go with the ebbs and flows every time the temperature fluctuates. I think we got to hold out as long as we can.
Yeah.
But Mike just educated me on this winter cabbage thing. Are those real plants? Like, what's winter cabbage? Is that?
Oh yeah, no, they're real.
That?
Yeah, and they don't. I mean, they flower in the fall and the winter, but they will eventually, once it gets very cold, they will eventually die. But they're the late blooming kind of like a root plant. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
there's two other things coming. There's a new another burrito shop or something we've heard coming into Papagino, where the old Papagino's location.
Ah,
The Santa
interesting.
Fe Cafe, we've
I think that's an
heard,
unconfirmed rumor, but
unconfirmed.
that's the chatter on the
Yep.
that I've seen around town, and there's activity, and there's some kind of restaurant apparently going in. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's a great
that would be
space to
great.
be used for
Yeah, it's
something.
nice and
I used to go to Papagino's all the time. I liked it when it was a pup. If they put another Papagino's in, I'd be happy.
it's very retro. You know what else is pretty retro, and a lot of our young fans keep asking us, so we're gonna ask about it right now. The young people are asking for a DQ, or asking for a Dairy Queen.
Oh,
I don't
That's right. We got a lot of
interesting.
comments on the
a
show
lot of
last week
comments,
for
and
DQ.
they're watching again tonight. So hey guys, the answer is we don't know. There's never there you can New Englanders eat ice cream year round, so you can't saturate the market with ice cream as far as I'm concerned.
No, in
I don't
terms
know.
of the new businesses, I'm going to tip my ear here to folks, in a pandemic that are being courageous to try and open up a business. There's, certainly we're a community that loves to support our local business, but it's nice to see, and even in these times, Tennock just opened up just north. It was in the photo there, the Waggery, as I mentioned, and obviously our existing businesses. But think about an entrepreneur opening in this environment. So thank you very much for choosing Melrose.
Right. Exactly.
Isn't there like a new candy store going on West Emerson?
There will be, yeah. So guys who are watching, while you're waiting for something like that, yeah, check out. It'll be over near Cedar Park, a new candy store. I don't know the name of it. And also don't forget, there's and they're great. Cloud9 is a fabulous local.
Yes, open year round.
Open all the time,
ice cream,
and they're scooping ice cream all the
365.
time, and they're so nice, and they're great. They're really great they give back to the community. So I love ice cream, but I love really supporting those personal local businesses. Kennedy's also came in over near. So try those while you're waiting, because they could really use your support. So.
Do you know if the candy store will have those dots that they put on paper?
I don't know.
I've been looking for those.
Yes, those are fantastic.
Well, Cloud9 doesn't Cloud9 have them?
I think they do.
No, I haven't seen them there. Do they?
They did at one point.
Because they have a lot of retro. They have a lot of retro candy. So go check it out. You report back. Is that your favorite?
Whenever I find one of those shops, I go and get me like a Sky Bar. It's got like the 5 sections, and you don't know which section is which until after you've eaten it.
Right.
It's not labeled.
It's like a Forrest Gump reference there.
The other things that are starting to pop up all over Melrose is a lot of the the art pieces and public art that was part of the city's wayfinding and placemaking initiative. There are 3. There's poetry out on El Pond. There are 3 utility boxes that have now been painted really, really nicely. And there's a mural going up. Have you guys seen the mural?
I saw pictures online at the high school.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this too, just for 1 second. So this is Sylvia Lopez Chavez. She is, you can see her there in the painting. This is going up on the side of the high school. She is a very well-known muralist and artist. She has work in Boston on the Esplanade, in Salem, all over the place. We are very lucky to have her. This is sort of putting Melrose on the map in terms of this kind of work. This is kind of a big deal. So it's great. So shout out to Lenore Gauthier Smith, who sought one of the grants to get this done. I think she had a vision for something like this for a long time, and for the placemaking, the public art and placemaking initiative for making it possible. It was a state grant, and I love that. It looks fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it is. It's awesome. Yeah,
it's cool. So it's almost done. There's even more. I saw it today. There's more done, and it looks great. So so that's what's going on these days, I think. That's everything I know so far.
Well, I just wanted to make one comment. So over the weekend, there was the 25th annual Melrose Alliance Against Violence walk, which obviously was canceled from
virtualized.
What it historically has been, right? And it's MAAV is an organization that I'm very fond of, and just not to bring it on a somber note, but with COVID, with a lot of people being indoors, with families being together, domestic violence is one of those issues that is really, really taking hold now. And, think about, a spouse that's unable to leave a house to get out. Melrose Alliance Against Violence offers resources. So, things are really challenging. People are stressed. Kids are home. You may have lost your job. You can't go out and stretch your legs. It's, so things that they're an organization, a local organization that's really dedicated to a lot of these efforts and awareness, as well as providing resources to those who need it. So I just wanted to not only point that out, but just recognize that they've been doing this for 25 years. Unfortunately, their 25th anniversary was during, this pandemic, but now more than ever, they're an organization that, we as Melrosians need to support, and just recognize that, we want everybody to feel safe in their own homes. And this is really a resource they're providing.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I'm gonna piggyback on that, Mike. Very well said. But recently, I guess they gave out the first two recipients of the
Oh.
Men for
Men
MAAV's
for Men
Excellence
for
in
MAAV,
Male
yeah.
Leadership Award. And it's two folks I know, and they couldn't be better recipients. Joe Perillo, who's a guidance counselor at MHS, has been a guidance counselor to my children. He's a fantastic guy. And Jim Donahue, president of youth soccer, among other things. So a couple of guys recognized in the community, and yeah, just a stand-up organization. And Mike, just well said. Like, in these times, more important than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. We talked about the upcoming events. We talked about their candlelight vigil, and we talked about the walk last week. And I'm glad they're able to do it. The idea of it being a virtual, being able to still do that is important. And they had this really poignant and really interesting kind of installation in front of the BB school during the walk. That was really interesting. That was good.
Yeah.
They're great. Thanks for bringing that up again. Another thing that's going virtual this year, it's also very popular, different subject, but the Melrose Ed Foundation, they host a very popular parent university every year, and tons of people go. It's over at the high school and the high school and middle school and the Learning Commons. They cover all kinds of topics, and it's an all day long workshop. It's free. It's amazing. So they are still doing it. They're going virtual this year. Topics are going to include things like transform the difficult behaviors and ignite your child's greatness, college financing, managing screen time and content, the college search. Yeah, except for LTMM. You don't have to turn that up. College search and admissions journey.
Are you reading my to-do list? What
yeah,
is
right.
This?
and pandemic parenting and coping with parental burnout. So I think I'm definitely going to sign up for that one. Everybody has kids at different ages. So I know it's different. Well, not everybody has kids, but if you have kids they're at different ages, it's different. It's different for everybody. So hats off to those who have little kids, having to help them with their homework and stuff like this. I have different challenges. Sometimes I have a teenager, and there's multiple times I've said I do not know how to parent a teenager through a pandemic. Like, this is really hard. So so kudos to them for pulling this off. They also are a great group and a great resource in Melrose.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Jen. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does reads like my to-do list.
Exactly. Parenting during a pandemic. I'm gonna see. I mean, just parenting period is. I would sign up just for the parenting workshop period. Never mind through pandemic. So, anyway, so what else? What else we got?
Well, I didn't know if there was going to be a ghost of Christmas present, past, or future that might visit us. Sometimes we have surprise guests near the end. So, did you guys know that William Tell, the guy with the arrow and the apples?
Yeah.
Yes. He and his son actually used to be in a bowling league. Yeah, it's funny. So the historians were researching this, but they don't know who sponsored their team. So they don't know for whom the Tells bowled.
Are we supposed to laugh at that?
I knew we were headed in that direction somewhere, but oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Hey!
Oh!
Zoom Mommer.
Zoom
Hey, you guys.
Mommer.
Sassy McSasser pants.
I had 5 seconds and thought I'd just say hi.
Hello.
How are you?
What is going on, Zoom Mommer?
Zoom
Ah.
Mom.
You know, at any moment I have to leave because I don't know where my kids are, but hopefully they had dinner.
Are you supposed to keep track of them?
I'm not sure, but welcome to my office.
Nice.
Yep.
This is also
that
where
look-
school happens, and that is not a setup. That's actually
That's
what it
actually
looks
the
like.
real thing.
So,
It's not
Zoom
staged.
Mommer, typical day, morning, noon, and night. It just kind of easy breezy. Like, how does it go?
Let's see. I wake up in the morning. At least 2 out of 5 things in my house have peed the floor. I have to look around to see if there's number 2 somewhere else. Let's see. Then there's yelling. Do we have to wear pajamas today? Do we have to put on clothes? What do my pants have to be like? Can they smell my breath if I don't brush my teeth? Then school starts if we're home around 8:30, where the screen does not even get turned on, and we just survive. Then there's more yelling, shushing.
Sounds enchanting.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
Well, then after school,
I
I
like-
sit and watch screens the rest of the night. So that's when I get peace and quiet. And now here I am.
Right. At the end of the day, you go, please turn on your screens.
Right.
How are you gonna manage that one?
I like the yelling and shushing combo. That's a nice combo. We find that very useful around here as well.
Yeah. Today, this, and you guys already know this because we talked about it earlier, but today I texted my teenage daughter and said, you need to come home for dinner. She texted me back and said, I am home. I was like, oh, okay, good. Well, good then.
You're living in a virtual world.
Yeah, and you guys know my house is not that big, so.
Yeah. I had a similar conversation, but my kids are only 9. I was like, are you in the house somewhere?
Are you in here somewhere? Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, hey, can I end, guys, with a quote from somebody from the community?
Please.
Well,
can
you
I-
can, but I have to do a costume change after that
Oh,
before we dance it out. So
oh,
go
really?
ahead.
Why don't you? Do you want to?
No, go ahead, go
Are
ahead.
you being serious? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes, of course you are.
I just
Okay,
didn't know if
so-
you wanted the music to start right at the end of this reading.
No. That's completely up to you. So you know, all the things we talked about in the show and that we've talked about earlier. You know, we've talked about public art, we've talked about parklets, we've talked about, you know, all kinds of things. So this was, I think, on the community pages. This is our friend and neighbor Susan Barani. So shout out. She says, on my run today, first I see an artist painting a scene from the young adult novel The Witch of Blackbird Pond on a utility box. Then I pause to read poetry at L Pond. Then I pass the pumpkin people, outdoor dining, and a new parklet on Main Street. People of Melrose, thank you for working so hard, caring so much, and contributing to make our city an even nicer place to live. I just thought that was awesome.
Pat yourselves on the back. Go, Rose.
Go Melrose.
That's a definite win for the week. And I say another win is having Mike Zwirko here on the show. And
Yeah,
I want
thanks
to
for
do
being here, Zwirko.
I want to do a throwback to the earliest days
Oh no.
when we
Here we
first began, and we did the forum watch party and the interviews afterward, and we coined.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Well, that's a win
So,
right there.
Boogeyman Charcuterie is going to dance it out with you all tonight
All right,
to end the
great.
show. Are we ready? We're going to see
We're
you around
ready.
town.
See you around town. See you in a park.